watch it after. Okay, Shisush, we're gonna help you out with a progression session because you were asking for a long time, and then you requested it after a while, and we planned it after a while.
And
you're on the jet,
went...
yeah. But I want to help you out. So you're on the jet, right?
Yes.
You want to take it more seriously?
Basically, like, I feel kind of left out because like everyone I used to play with, like Henry and Brendo and
Henry's
and
like
Noah,
way ahead, yeah.
Yeah, like they are like way ahead of me.
I mean,
and, like,
Henry's ahead of me, so.
Yeah, so like, bruh, I feel so cheated because of Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
it's a amount of time, you know, the amount of time you can dedicate, right?
Yeah. It's not like Henry just like out of like someday woke up with like a lot of shit on his account.
Yeah,
but
no, you worked hard.
The thing is, I want to play with them again, so I need to have a bigger PP chat. That's basically it.
Or play with their secondary characters, but that wouldn't feel as good, probably.
Yeah. But like the problem is, like meanwhile, while I try to get to the point there are like, it's kind of difficult, right? Because I gotta get like better gear, like get Arcane shit and whatnot that I don't have any. And it's kind of hard because it's hard to find like a.
It's a process.
Like a permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult for me because like it's harder for me to find a.
Yeah, because your work schedule.
Permanent party. Yeah, because of my work schedule, so I gotta find other ways to advance to that regard.
Yeah. Or like I said, kind of in a joking way, but more in a serious way, like find people's second and third mains that people maybe aren't like actively running on as much, but that they have a character available that can run. And if you find enough of those people who are more flexible and who know you, they'll be like willing to run with you, even with your clown ass who fucking insta runs.
Bruh!
You died out so quickly.
Bruh, I didn't die out so quickly. I was providing content.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. But yeah.
But the thing is, it's.
But I think that's more realistic, right? Because finding like a party who really wants to do these bosses and be like, hey guys, like I'm looking for a party. Also, I can't be there like 2/3 of the time. That's a rough sell, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, it's kind of like difficult, like regardless, because if it was like a CRA party or like a Lotus and Damien party, that's easy to find. But it's not everyone that have like a secondary character that can do hard lucid and hard will.
I think it's becoming more common, especially if you're talking about the people who are like doing black mage stuff on their main. They probably like I have at least one character every week available that could run, but just not like a hard carry, right? But it would be a character that can carry its own weight, but it wouldn't be like a party carry. So it would, you know, be like your character, be like around the same, maybe a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker, but like around the same situation.
Between the people that I know, like yeah, I could find like a 6-man party. It would be like 5 Kanas and 1 Jett. That's it.
That could be enough, but yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, is there something that that would help you with that? Because the thing is that I don't want to work with like huge sign-up sheets for all the bosses and all that kind of stuff, because then you need someone who stays on top of that and who manages all of that as well. Unless you're volunteering to do that, but it's
I can do that 2/3 of the time.
Yeah, because you're offshore like 2 weeks, onshore 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But onshore 2 weeks, you're like quarantined half the time.
Not really. Like I'm not required to do quarantine, so I just like when I come back on shore, I just like go back home and that's it. I do quarantine to go to the boat, although. But the thing is, like I've like what I was thinking I could try to do is like try to get like strong enough so that I could like solo hard will and hard lucid, so I wouldn't depend on other people to do the bosses, and that way I could just like progress myself towards like harder bosses. Like what I've.
Yeah, but it's a big leap to go from where you're at to like soloing those bosses. You'll just need a bunch of experience with parties, and as the parties get stronger and stronger, you'll just not so much for lucid, but for will, you'll see parties like splitting up into smaller sections so that more people have a chance for the book and everything. That's like the natural progression for parties anyway, but I don't think you should be aiming for that like immediately. First, try to get like a group of people who is like let's say if you can get a party that can technically just 5-man all the bosses, and you are just like the 6-man, so that when you're there you can join it. If you're not there, they just run as 5-man or find a fill temporarily, but they know that there's like one flex spot and that you have like priority. That would be like the party that you're looking for, and I think most parties who are more desperate for runs will want to always have like a 6-man, and it'll be hard to find a fill, and then it might get too tight of a squeeze with a 5-man, and then what'll end up happening eventually is they'll be like, okay, well, we got someone to fill, but they would only fill as a permanent, so you know, we just said that, and then, you know, there's no room for you anymore now. Like, that's probably more likely that that's going to happen eventually after like a few weeks, you know, or after a few months. So if you want to yeah, and it sucks, right? Because your play schedule just is very different. You're just not allowed to play as much because you're working offshore. So, yeah, it's the player profile and the game profile don't line up very well, because most games these days give you like the daily logins, but of course MapleStory with the dailies is way rougher on that, right? With like symbols and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, and like the past few events that I could play to, like I felt like I didn't get anything. Like I had a good like I wouldn't say like it's a huge amount of money, but I had money saved up, and like it's getting harder to like make decisions where I should dump my money, and like I just like finish every event feeling like, oh yeah, I just like dumped 20 bill on this shit and I didn't get anything. Like,
sure. Do you feel like you get in trouble? You have trouble getting in parties also because you're Jett still? Do you feel like that still plays parts?
Yeah.
So do you know your BA? Like, have you done a BA recently?
I've done a BA when the
Final damage change?
the reboot. Yeah, the final damage change. Like I have
the
like
passive,
almost 3. Yeah, I have like two something build Trill BA, like
hopefully Trill, not Bill.
2.3.
Yeah,
Trill, like 2.3 or something like that. Like I can like.
And are you more? Do you know? Are you like more? Are you more of a DPM class? Because I'm, you know, a lot of people are just not familiar with Jett, right? Are you more bursty or are you more DPM?
Nowadays it's kind of strange. Like before like the recent change to Jett, it was definitely a DPM class. But now they've kind of gave Jett a burst. Like you can just like pop the skill that increases the chance, the proc chance of Star Force cooldown, and use now the hold down skill that I never remember the name. It has the same
salvo?
chance as, no, not the salvo. It's another skill that has a cooldown. Like it has the same chance as salvo to proc the showdown.
Right.
It's affected by the buff, so it's
I see.
kind of a burst, but not exactly.
Is it on the wait, okay. I'm looking at the screenshots for your superior pennant. Is it like the one that's under the M for emblem? Is it that skill?
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're talking about the same one. Okay. Because it's also like a backup beat. It's also like a hurricane skill, right?
Yeah, it's basically a hurricane skill.
And it becomes more bursty now because of that one has cooldown and because it triggers the same. And that's part of a boost node now, right?
It always been a boost node.
But now it's like shared with salvo, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's been like that for some time now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, my Jett knowledge isn't super up to speed. It is kind of still a niche class, right? Because it was forgotten for way too long. I don't think that reputation will like go away very easily. You have to kind of like fight for your spot wherever you go, I think.
Yeah, like like I want like Jett's not the best class, but definitely it's not like TB level of like trash.
No.
But like people still have like the meme Jett memory, so like it's for them it's still a meme class.
Yeah, you just have to produce numbers, right? You have to produce like show that the character can do stuff and show numbers and do damage, and then you know.
Yeah. But apart from that skill, Jett's mostly a DPM class. Like you have basically like
you have short cooldown skills, right?
Yeah, you have short cooldown skills. You have the hurricane skill, and you have like the 5th job skill, the suborbital strike. That's basically like another hurricane skill that you have like
Is that the one on page up? Is that the one you're talking? No, that's not the one you're talking about, right? Or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one.
And
It's
page
like,
down is also strong, right? The explosion.
yeah.
What's the cooldown on that one?
It used to be. It used to be worse. It's better nowadays.
Okay.
That one's is a short summon that does a shit ton of damage, and nowadays it doesn't flashbang people anymore. That's a
Yeah.
plus.
It doesn't blind your teammates anymore. Yeah. By the way, if you're doing flag race again, don't use that NX weapon, okay? Because you're like griefing the fucking killed. You're going in with your fish spear and stuff and a water effect every time you jump. It was so hard to
But
do
I like
flash.
fish spear.
A little hard to do flag race with you. I don't know why they don't just put everyone in a uniform for flag race and then let them show off the uniform after or something. But
It would be way too difficult for next, and
okay.
I wouldn't expect that from them.
One thing I want to go through with you, because we did do Lucid together and you did like die out. What do you find difficult in, like, what are you dying to in Lucid?
Like
Because it was a scuffed run, you know, but you still like died out faster, right? So
I think in that run I died like 2 times to lasers. Like I don't usually die that much to lasers, but for some reason.
How do you usually do lasers?
I just like walk, and when I feel like I don't have anywhere to walk, I just TP up, because Jett's dash upwards is considered a TP, so I can just like TP through the lasers.
You talking about like the diagonal one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the main thing, right? I think the main thing in the beginning, if you're doing Lucid or not doing as much, you tend to like panic during the lasers and you jump all around, and that's actually when you die the most to it, because it's hard to keep track of which laser is firing where and when. But if you just move a little, like what you're saying, like walking, just like very slowly walking from one side to another. If it's like vertical or diagonal, you just move a little bit. What I usually do is when lasers start, I try to go all the way to the top right, and then I just slowly make my way down diagonally to the bottom left. If I reach the bottom left and the laser's still going, then I move too fast, and I know for next time I need to move slower. So if the laser is horizontal, you just jump down to the platform, and if the laser is completely vertical, you just move forward just a little bit. But the sooner you move, the more space will be in between the lasers, and the less room you will have at the end of the thing, right? It's like with Vellum. Remember in the beginning when you do Vellum in the tails, you jump all over the place, and the tails are everywhere, and you can't stand anywhere. But when you figure out the tails more, and you don't move as much, the tails like overlap almost, and they're covering not as much room, right? And there's way more room for you to stand and to be safe. It's kind of the same thing with the lasers.
I feel like I still move way too fast on lasers. Like,
it's about being calm. Yeah. It's one thing I also do is when I see the laser start and I look at like the animation in the end, the first thing I do is up jump so that the first laser is like way up in the map, and the second one is also like on my way down. So the first 2 lasers already are dodged basically just by up jumping. That's also something you can try for that timing, because then there's 2 fewer lasers, and then if you do move a little bit too fast, you will get to the end of the map, and then maybe you only have like 1 laser left, and then you can use that one dash and you're good. But that's the thing to practice for, because in phase 2 you should actually never die. Because you'd have knockback resistance, so the golems can't do anything. You should stay calm during the lasers. If you have lasers and dragon at the same time, and you don't have an iframe, and like all of the lasers are horizontal or something, then you're allowed to die, you know? But that should be such an exception. That should happen like once or twice at most in an entire run. So you'd never be able to die out in phase 2 unless you're just either panicking too much or messing up too much or not paying attention enough, which I think not paying attention enough is fine if you're in a run where you have like 9 lives left and you're just goofing around with friends. But if you're trying to get the clear and it's already going to be really clutch and you know that people might be dying out, then you need to clutch up and get that focus in, right? Unless you don't care as much, right? But I'm assuming that you want that arcane gear, right? You want to catch up, so those runs are, if you have only few of those runs, those are important.
Yeah, like even more, because like I'm trying to at least get the arcane weapon, and I'm kind of short on boss drops. Like I have enough droplets, and I could buy more on the event shop if I need to. But I'm gonna get cucked by the boss drops. I don't have enough of them.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing I would say, like through the Discord and stuff in the room, You start like when you know you're going to be back next week and when you're going to be able to play and be like, hey, I'm looking for a party next week, and post like 2 or 3 times a day and post in the chat. You know, whenever I see it, I try to make sure that I repeat it as well, right? Just get some people, like say it in the guild every now and then. Maybe say it in the alliance chat, because our alliance rain song are also very strong people, right? There might be a bunch of people in there as well with like 2nd or 3rd characters that are running that might have room for 1 extra person. Because especially for hard lucid, it's very easy to just take an extra person. Because if you can 5-man it, you can take whoever there with you. Like a 6th person can't fuck it up, right? that's the first thing. Even if their mechanics aren't great, they can't really fuck it up. They can only like die out and fuck it up for themselves, right? The drops, like even if a drop gets stolen, which you wouldn't do, but like even if people who don't know you, you know, the worst thing that can happen is a lucid belt could get stolen. Nobody gives a shit about that one. So like for lucid, it should be relatively easy. Now, will is typically a little bit harder because people desperately want people to know the mechanics, and not people who say they know the mechanics like you, and then when you say move in phase 3, just walk and die to every move because you didn't know you had to use a movement skill, you know?
Bruh! Phase 3 will
It was
me.
so hilarious.
I was moving. I was like, bruh, fast.
Like move, and you died every time. And I was moving. It's like, we're using a movement skill. I was like, I was walking. It's like, okay, that doesn't work.
I was like, in my mind, I was like, bruh,
Yeah.
like Jett go fast.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can just walk.
Well, apparently Hayato can do that. I heard that Hayato can use their fucking hurricane skill, because they can move 200% speed in that, and they can just use that, and that's fast enough to dodge the move. Like, but I guess Jett is also pretty fast, but I guess Jett can't do that. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I would save your car until you get very, very, very familiar with the bosses. I would just save your car for those situations. Like I said, like if there's laser and dragon at the same time, then I would pop out the race car and jump around, because that's when what you need it for. Especially if you know that you might be getting low on lives. As you get more comfortable with the boss and know when to do the damage, and more is being relied on you for the damage. I guess, do you alternate, like, because backup B-Town, you can't use that in the car, right? But you can use the other. You can use the salvo.
I can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I can.
Which is
the only skill that I noticed that I can.
Is the blast,
only two
right?
Skills that I noticed. Yeah, like the only 2 skills that I noticed that I can use while I'm in the car are the summon skills.
Is the 5th
black
jump
hole
ones?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess if maybe thought it was
use
overpowered to use the 5th job skill during the 5th jobs, I guess.
To be honest, like,
it doesn't really make sense. Like, some of the skills seem like you shouldn't be able to use them when you're driving around in the car, and other ones you should. So
it's not even like 5th job skills. It's just summon skills. If I try to summon the robot, or if I try to summon the black hole, I can't. But the explanation I saw to that, it's because
you need your hands free.
When you're, yeah, basically. But apart from having to have your hands free, like,
yeah,
there are skills that require you to be grounded.
Yeah,
While you're in your car, you're considered like you're hovering, so
yeah.
you can't use.
Even if you're on the ground, it still counts you as like floating just above the ground, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
So you can use summon skills.
Okay, that makes sense. I think, isn't it for all summons that you need to be standing on the ground?
I don't know for the other classes. I know that for Jett, that's true.
I think that's a general rule. I don't know if anyone in chat knows any summon skills where you don't have to stand on the ground. Well, that's why I like that's why I like that 5th job skill from Lara so much. That kind of like throws out that Earth Guardian, and that explodes after a while, because it kind of feels like a summon, but you can use it in the air completely. But I guess it's not technically a summon. It's just like a blob that you're throwing out there.
Yeah, maybe.
And as you mentioned, I think for all summons, I think you have to Ilium Robot. Okay, maybe. Can't you use Guided Arrow in the air? Yeah, but that's, you're buffing yourself with the arrow.
It's technically a buff, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it is a summon. I think it's like the suborbital strike. I can use that when I'm in the air. Suborbital strike. Wait, is that the Xenon skill?
No, it's the Jett skill that summons the 2nd hurricane skill.
It summons the 2nd hurricane skill. Oh god. Suborbital strike. Hang on.
People in the chat are doing like !Paulo, and wants me to say something. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm kind of scared.
Oh, this one. Yeah. you have like two forms of robots, right? One that hits a bunch of targets
Yeah,
and one that hits one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The best skill Jett has.
Oh, that's wow. That's on max level. That's 100 seconds. That's gonna be, yeah. So I would if you're going to join parties and stuff, I would say like that you're like like say like 2.3 trill, but that you're DPM class and a DPS class. I would still present
Yeah,
as such because then people also, if you say like, oh yeah, I do 2.3, but then that's it, no context, they will assume that you're DPS and therefore that it's like low, and they'll pick a bunch of other people over you.
not that they're wrong, but
The Xenon skill is Orbital Cataclysm. Oh, there you go. So it's something else orbital.
bro, I'm not ignoring you. I'm paying attention to Daddy-o.
Yeah, because we don't have super long, because I've got to go help my sister move a washing machine in a little bit.
Like one thing that I've been thinking about that I don't know if it's a good idea or not is that since I'm having such a hard time getting my arcane shit, like shouldn't I just like get the arcane weapon and go for 22-star Abso?
You could, but the thing is, it really just comes down to the boss clears, and if you're strong enough, and you can get strong enough with 17 Abso by just upgrading the other stuff on your own time, then you can get strong enough for those bosses, and then you will get the clears, and you'll be able to buy the droplets, and then you will be able to buy the arcane gear and go hard on it. If the shop wasn't on the way, and if the boss drops weren't about to change and all of that stuff, then I would say, yeah, go for that. Like, if you asked me like a year ago, I'd probably say, yeah, go for that. But there's been like too many changes in the recent year and upcoming that make arcane just too accessible that I don't think makes it a good investment.
And what about that split that you were talking about yesterday, the 3 arcane, 3 Abso?
Well, yeah, that was just like a hypothetical question, just because I didn't know how fast that person was going to be able to switch over. The set bonus changing will make it easier to slowly switch in, and you won't have to feel like you have to make the whole set before you switch like one Abso piece over, right? So it'll also not feel as railroaded, like it's either, you know, just the weapon and then full Abso, or all arcane, but like 2 or 3 or 4 and it can or 5 can all be valid upgrades. But we'll have to wait until that goes through to the game. But that should be pretty soon. I think if we follow the same schedule, that should come around pretty soon. Okay, so that's so well. Okay, yes. Say what you want to say, but remember that we're on the clock, right?
So like about my equipment.
Yeah.
I'm not getting lucky with the papulatas. Like what should I do? Should I just go for the monocle like regardless and fuck it?
How are you on the narrows?
I could not that much, but I could get the monocle.
Yeah, but like 1?
Yeah, like 1.
Well, getting like a 17-star monocle would be a downgrade, right? Because there's no set bonus. You already have a black beam mark that does have a set bonus. That'll get a better flame, and you already have 19 decks on there. Like, moving into a monocle would require a decent amount of money before it becomes any kind of upgrade compared to this. Whereas if you spend that same amount of money on this one, then you'll end up with something stronger than that. So the question is, like, how far are you willing to upgrade to make that change in the equip worth it? I think there's other pieces that you probably want to work on first before you think about monocle. So I think that's like an area that you could work on, but I don't think that's quite right now. The main thing that you want to do, well, first of all, is getting everything to 17, right? But there's only a few pieces left to do. I think it's only, is it the Sweetwater Tattoo, and that's pretty much it? Yeah, it's just Sweetwater Tattoo, right?
Yeah, I think.
What rings are you using? Do you have damage rings? Your superior got drop and mezzo and dex. I see.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to get another superior, another superior ring. I could buy one, but the thing is, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to make damage rings. I get way too lucky with the drop lines.
Such a crazy problem to have. Wait, are these your only rings you have? These 4?
No. I have two other dedicated drop rings.
Right, okay. So you use these 2...
I have more spare rings, though. I have like more kind of spare kind of rings and one other Meister ring. Okay,
so a few Kanas, 1 Meister. And how many Galax coins do you have?
Like about 1,000.
Okay. Yeah. So that could be two reinforced rings, right? Because the main thing is getting like the Star Forced up rings, not just because, you know, Star Force, but because damage on it, right? Because right now, the Reboot Awake ring is giving you almost no damage. That's like a huge loss leader right now.
Yeah, the Reboot Awake ring is Sage.
Okay, so which bosses can you do in short term to get backups? Which ones are you already doing whenever you can?
Everything up to Lotus and Damien.
That's for weekly, right? And then do you do anything on daily?
Yeah, Arcarium. Like daily, I don't do much. I do like Arcarium and Magnus, and that's it.
And Helix?
Oh yeah, and Halix.
Yeah, because those are important, right? You could consider. Do you have any Black Bean Mark backups?
Yes.
And is that 1 or is it like 3 or 4?
I have like 4. I think it's 4.
Okay, so that's a good amount. That's a good amount. Because we want to look at like items that you either already have backups of or that you can get more quick access, right? Because how many dineros do you have?
Like 300.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's not even 1 pennant, right? So that's longer term, so we have to postpone that. But it does mean if you do want to get to that, you have to do it more.
I really don't like to do CPQ.
No. You can skip CPQ, but did you ever level up your boat?
No.
Okay.
I think I'd rather do CPQ than do the voyages. When I usually feel like doing like CP, like anything related to Commercy daily, I just do CPQ and that's it. Very rarely I do the solo voyages.
Yeah, because the build up for the voyages and for the boat is annoying, but once you have the dreadnought, it's really, really clean. Then you just spam Dolces and it's like 30-second per run, and you just get like, what is it, 48 dineros a day, just in like less than 15 minutes. It's really fast.
Yeah, I should invest on that since like
or less than 10 minutes actually.
Yeah, like considering that I have like limited time per month to play, like I should invest.
It's an investment, but it will definitely pay off because and you're in a good position, quote unquote, now, so that you have other stuff to work on, so you don't need the dineros right now, so you can work on the investment now, and then it can start paying off. And then when all the other resources kind of dry up or the other upgrades become really, really expensive, then you'll have the dineros, and then you can start working on that project. And then when the dineros run out and those get really far, then you will have built up backups for the other one again, or you will have gotten enough boss drops for the Arcane at that point, and then you can work on the Arcanes. And it's not that so the main problem why it's like, where do I spend my money, is because everything seems like an opportunity, but the thing is, things are only an opportunity based on how much risk they are. And if you don't have that many backups, then it's not really an opportunity. Then it's something for later. So that means that it will become an opportunity. So you have to work on what is a better opportunity now. And then when that runs out or becomes very expensive, something else becomes a better opportunity because comparatively it's not as expensive, and because it's lower risk because you got more backups now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I was trying to follow that line, like doing like upgrading my CRA stuff because I got a shit ton of backups.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to go for like 22 star CRA, but like I didn't get very lucky on that.
Did you just go one item at a time and try to send it all the way to 22?
Yeah, I tried with my I tried first with my top. I got it to like 20 stars. On like 5 booms, and then it boomed again.
Yeah.
And then I tried pans.
So that strategy is really good if you're like JHK who farms like 8 hours a day, right? Or if you just have like 60 billion in your account. Then that's a really good strategy. If you don't have that, you have more limited resources, you just want to go 1 star at a time, so that every time you have an upgrade session and that you have a time where you spend money, that you will always be left with some upgrade, right? Because if you have, like, let's say you have like 12 bill or something, which maybe on average would be maybe enough to get from 17 to 21, like on a piece, right? I don't know the exact number, just like hypothetical. And you try on one piece, but you get a little bit below average, which would be like 49% chance, right? If the average is spending all that money, it's not that out of the ordinary. It's like a 1 in 2 chance that you actually don't get it. And then what you're left with is either a downgrade or the same as what you had. But if you do get one piece to 18. You know, maybe it booms a few times, whatever. Maybe you get unlucky and you spend like 3 bill. You still have 7 bill left. Maybe then one of the other 2 pieces gets lucky, and then you get everything to 18. Okay, maybe you can get everything to 19, and maybe at 19 things start booming, and maybe that last piece is left to be at like 17, right? But then you didn't get anything to 21, sure, but then you're left with a 17 and 2 19-star pieces instead of 3 17-star pieces, and you spent the same amount of money, right? So
Yeah.
you want to be more smarter with your money if you have more limited resources, because otherwise you're going to just see no progress in the long term. So that would be the next thing, I think, would be like to see the pieces where you're going to commit harder to work on backups for that. So, you know, the long-term things, you know, definitely like Arc, Helix, like those are super important. You keep doing your weeklies that you can. You know, Princess No, you know, that'll end up with backups. And you know about transfer hammering into Superior and everything, right? So that could be a thing that you do before the next one. Honestly, like I wouldn't think about now necessarily working on a new Golix ring. Because what is the upgrade there? If you get a new Superior, that means you spend basically all of your Superior coins. So anything else that would come from Superior coins will be pushed back, right? Because that's a time-gated resource. And what are you probably going to run on the Superior Golix ring? You're probably going to get it to 17, and you're probably going to get it to like 21% dex, because you're going to go for high Star Force Chrono Treasure later, transfer hammer into it, and then redo the potential, so you're not going to commit to the potential yet. So what is your potential upgrade for that slot? It's 12% dex. That's not like nothing, but if you look at all of your account, everything that you can do, just 12% dex is not worth setting back all the other pieces possibly progressing past where they are, because they share the same resources as Helix, right? So you want to be smarter with your resources there. And another upgrade, like getting a reinforced ring and rolling dex on that one, and then switching out the Reboot Awake ring with that one, that's a possible upgrade of 21 dex, and that's only for 450 coins instead of 700, right? So that makes way more sense as an upgrade.
Yeah.
So I think just getting one more damage ring in, and even if it's just 21, that'll like, and it's just a reinforced ring, that'll get your rings like sorted out for now. And then the next big thing besides that is, you know, get the tattoo to 17, but that's like, you know, that's like a speed bump. For the longer term, I would work on the boat, right? And then for the shorter term, if the 5, 10, 15 comes around, I work on the CRA, but like 1 star at a time per piece. And see if you can get everything to 18. Then see if you can get everything to 19. Even if everything is to 19 already, you already see a significant difference. Because again, you know, when we're talking about like getting from 12 to 15, you don't gain much. And then from 15 to 17, you gain a lot, right? Because of the attack. The attack that you have on a 17-star item is still kind of a joke. Because it's like 20, which is nice because you have it on like, you know, 14 pieces or something, so it adds up. But it's just 20. Once you start getting 18, 19, the numbers get really, really crazy. And you'll just feel like CRA is going to, even just getting CRA from 17 to 19, which is, you know, in the greater scheme of things, a small, like a lot now, but like in the greater scheme of things, not that much. But it's gonna already have a significant impact on your progress. And you have the secondary that, the emblem that carries you over, right? What is your secondary at again? Boss and 2 IED. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the secondary is a good idea to keep it on that.
Do you have too much?
Like
Don't you have too much IED now, or?
I have like 95 visual.
Do you know how much functional you get from your? From your kit?
Idea. I have no idea, but Jett doesn't have that much ID.
Are you in the Jett Discord? Check.
Yeah.
Oh god, where do I find these cucks? I mean these great players. They're probably one of those Discords that has like a really weird name, so it's hard to find where they are. Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
I probably got kicked from that one because of the cuck.
Jett's got 2 Discords, right? It's got like the one on Maple Central, and it's got a super secret Discord that you gotta have like I really like Jett the Metal to get into.
Okay, that's probably the one. Class Discords. Really, you have to have the metal to get into it.
Good crit damage, I think. With guild skills, I have like 122 crit damage.
No, it looks like one of the invites is gone for. Is it the old Demon Slayer one? Wait, did you add the new Demon Slayer one? Maybe they need a new invite for that one.
Oh no.
One of them says mention. I don't know. Wait, where's Jett mentioned here? It's under the Pirates. Jett Discord.
I think it's under Explorer Pirate.
Yeah, no, that's the one I'm banned from. Okay, and then the other one they use is in Reboot. I'm not in Reboot Central either. Okay, well, okay, that's number one on the list, right? Is figure out where if you have extra functional IED except for the basic sources. So the basic sources usually is like your boost nodes and your Explorer Mage link skill, right? Those are like the main sources of functional IED. If you have more, check your hyperstats and check your skill descriptions to see if there's any IED in there. Because other than that, your visual is like is good, or maybe even a little bit on the high end. So you could maybe do with a little bit less. The question is like, what do you end up with familiar wise, right? If you have any.
Have healing familiars, and that's it. I haven't been lucky on familiars too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on them, but
because the thing is, if you get even some 15% ID familiars, if you use like one healing and two 15%, that could also mean that you could redo your secondary and gain a significant amount of damage there. Because even though for mobbing you're probably fine, but right now you're missing out on a lot of mobbing damage, right? But also a significant amount of bossing damage.
Yeah, mobbing damage hasn't been a problem. Like I've been able to like train on everything up to Labyrinth. I could train on Labyrinth, but I haven't found a good map there.
Yeah, they're a little bit more spread out, right?
Yeah.
The monsters are a little bit further away.
Yeah, and Jett hasn't the best map clear ever, so I try to keep it on. I try to keep it to small maps.
Like but Moonbridge works or no? Do you say Celas or something?
Yeah. No, I stayed at Moonbridge. Like currently I train at VC3.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then Limina is probably fine for you, right? So at 255 you can move over there.
Probably. I haven't been there.
The maps are like mid to small size, so it should probably be fine. And you have your arcane power is keeping up?
Yeah, like I have two maxed out symbols. I think I have like I have like a 1000 something.
Yeah, so you got like what 2020 and then what 18, 17, 14, 14, something like that.
Yeah. No, actually more.
Probably higher even, yeah.
Yeah, because of the compensation, I have my Moraz and the Sphere symbol is at level 16 each.
16. Oh yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, so that's no worries, yeah, okay. Alright, what's the other stuff you have here? Did you have any questions on link skills? Because you showed them all here. Or for your Legion, do you have any questions there? Or what to work on?
I don't know what the fuck should I work on Legion, because like I have like besides getting some level 2 link skills to level 3, I don't know if I'm still missing something.
Well, the main thing you're quote unquote missing is if you don't have 8k Legion, there's just a whole bunch of board that's not filled at all, right? And that's the main thing is like Legion member wise, you know my grid, right, for the Legion and links. Like if you basically start somewhere at the top and work your way down, you're not going to miss out on any of the member bonuses, but you might miss out on just the Legion grid coverage. That's the main thing you'll be missing out on. So if you get the 8k Legion, you can basically fill a whole other hex, so you could get like 40% boss damage out of that, which is like having an extra prime line on your WSE basically. So eventually that'll be a significant upgrade, but that's something you slowly kind of work towards. So what I would mainly just focus on is if there's a Terra Burn, then just make a Terra Burn to either a character that you don't have yet, or that you would like to get a level 3 link on, or a character that you currently only have at like 120 or 140 or something that would make the biggest upgrade. But other than that, you don't have to super focus on it, I would say.
Yeah, I think the only damage link skill that I'm still missing that could be like a good upgrade is the Ilium one.
Yeah, would you say you move around a lot during the boss fight?
Yeah, and it's easier for me to move around, right? Because the Hurricane skill.
Right.
Because I don't have to stop. I don't have to stop attacking for moving.
I see. Yeah, again, like if the Jett Discord has like a specific list that they use, the thing is with the movement one, you want the movement basically to be already part of your kit so that you are always moving. And I think Adenas use it, but like I know Dawn Warriors and who else is that skill that character that like Nightwalkers, like they definitely use it, right? Because they're just always moving anyway. But you want to limit the amount of skills that is requirement based and doesn't just automatically give you a benefit in terms that it will maybe that'll maybe negatively impact your gameplay, that you're like focusing too much on moving around to keep your buff, and that moving around can actually make you more susceptible to getting killed. That's not a thing you want to have to worry about during the boss fight, right? So if you have to choose between like elementalism, you know, with 2% less damage but is always working, and then that's an easy pick. And you're not really using the critical damage links at all, right? Critical rate, I mean.
When I'm bossing, I use them because I have most of my legion like allocated to ID and crit damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I still like so if I get a little bit of like below the 100%, so I have to use like.
Right. What's your hyper stats
10.
at? Where do you have those in?
Oh, forgot those.
Yeah, you have they're collapsed. So.
I don't have, but like I don't have any points on
crit rate.
On crit rate. I
Okay.
have like maxed out crit damage and ID, boss damage, attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, attack as well?
No, not maxed out. Like just like whatever.
Is it damage,
left,
boss damage, ID, crit damage? Those are like level 10 or 11 probably.
Yeah.
And then a little bit
like,
of an attack and dex maybe.
Crit damage, I just yeet that motherfucker.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
15,
The thing is just the higher you go, right, with hyperstats and the more expensive the individual level get, at a certain point, even though you might not need crit rate, quote unquote, it might become a good idea just to drop something in crit rate, so that it also might mean that you don't have to get the link skill for crit rate, and then you basically get like an extra link skill slot available, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is,
as you get higher, maybe not right now, but like as you get higher, something to keep in mind.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't really have a problem fitting all the link skills that I usually use on my on my grid. Like, so it's
That's
like I never thought about that, because like it's not like I'm fighting for more link skill spaces.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's more min-maxy thing for later, just to keep in mind. Okay, Shisuj, we got 5 more minutes. Okay.
Okay.
What are you most confused about when upgrading and when to spend money at this point? What can I help you with right now? Do you have DMT still up and coming, or are you not participating in that?
No, I have DMT coming.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know where the fuck I'm going to use that.
Well, based on what we already talked about, what seems to be the thing to work on for DMT for you?
The Black Bee Mark should be a good call. Maybe.
How much would you go for on the Black Bee Mark, like potential wise?
Try to get like 3 lines, even if like I got like 1 dex line and 2 all stat line, I think.
Mm-hmm. But like, how much dex are you gaining there? I don't think that's your best upgrade right now, because you also have limited funds, right? I think it's fine to keep it in unique if it's 18%, because you're probably aiming for 21, and that's only a 3% gain. The main like gains you can make right now, I would say, is get the reinforced ring and get that one to legendary, so you can roll that one, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
That's the main thing. And then, because like the things that you have at unique are really good, like the pendant is 21, the eye is 18, like those aren't bad items. And then the other stuff is the Abzo, that's all at 17. You could consider upgrading those, because you go from 17 to 23, that'll be 6%. But they're also level 160 gear, so it's a bit more expensive. So that's dependent how quickly you make money, because you definitely want to have your money ready for the 5, 10, 15 in 3 weeks, so that you can go hard on Star Forcing. The second thing you could consider is if you want to do like another Princess No secondary on the side and work on that one, so that you can choose one for mobbing, one for bossing. And maybe kind of alternate between the two if the other one rolls a good potential, so that you can keep rolling with red cubes and you don't have to roll with black cubes, because that'll eventually get cheaper to just make a second one and to roll with reds rather than to have to roll with blacks, because you don't want to lose the current potential.
Yeah.
So that's something you could do, like reinforced ring and like a secondary. That's probably the only things I would work on for DMT. For the rest, I would work on getting backups and saving for 5, 10, 15. For Star Force. If you can afford the weapon, even though your current weapon is good, I would always go for it because weapon is just a huge upgrade. The question is, if you do that, you might want to go for the Absolab hat because you're not gonna stay. You're gonna stay with just the weapon probably for a while, right? Because you're lacking the boss drops. So that means it's probably a relevant upgrade to work on a hat. So you could, if you can afford an Absolab hat, you could also already work on an Absolab hat during the DMT if you want to, just to get it to legendary and like 2-line decks and that's it. Or unique, and like good decks on unique could also work. You know, if you can get like 18 or 21 on unique, that's good enough as well with Master Craftsman cubes, because you know legendary and CRA potential lines are really shit, right?
Yeah.
So that could be like a backup option if you're close to the weapon. How you said you had enough droplets, but you're lacking the lucid droplets, right? How short are you?
I need 3 lucid droplets.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty close. So I would see that as like the weapon is pretty much within reach. So I would work on getting an Abzo hat so you can keep that 30% boss damage, right? So you don't lose as much damage there. And
just like working on the Abzo hat.
Yeah, but just like up to 17, right, during 5, 10, 15, which also means if you're going to work on CRA, you can also choose to temporarily just focus on the hat and the top and the bottom, and kind of leave the hat out of it for now, and work on that later when you move into more arcane pieces.
Yeah, because then I go back to the CRA hat.
Yeah, exactly. But by then you'll have so much money and so many backups that you can just easily just like shit out a 21 or a 22 hat by that time. But for now, it's better to just get the 17 Abzo hat in, and switch that one out when you get your weapon.
Yeah, like would you say like transferring this hat, like transfer him and this hat to an Abzo hat is a good idea? We should have just like save it for when I have.
Well, you have a DMT, so you'll be able to get the legendary easily on the Abzo, and it's quote unquote only 17, which again for your current state of the game is like that's the highest star force you have. But in the general scheme of things, I don't think it's worth. Even like with the events that we've got going on and everything, because there's like a 1+1, you can get the hat to 15 pretty cheap during that, and then just sit on it until the 5, 10, 15, and then get it 15 to 17 on the Abzo. I would just do that and just work on the potential now during the DMT, and just leave this hat where it is, and then later when you're switching, you come back to this hat and you just Star Force on this hat, so you already have a legendary hat and everything. Because I don't think it's worth the transfer. I think you lose more value than you gain there.
Yeah, because then I would have to just like get it to 21. I wouldn't have to like remake a hat.
Oh yeah, and then go for like a 20 Abzo. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, like when I go back to the CRA hat, I would already have this one. I would just have like the turbo to get it to 21 stars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but by that time you'll have the money for it. That'll just be like because everything else will be so expensive. Then that getting the arcane stuff and fixing the hat is like a small thing then. But if you get to that stage, yeah. So then if the 5, 10, 15 comes around, the main thing is going to be to try to get the top and the bottom Star Force up. I would like aim for 19 each, and then you can, from there on, you can see, okay, if they're both at 19, maybe it's risky to go further. You can also look for other items. So if you have a lot of black bean marks, you can start working on that one and slowly build it up the same way with the CRA, right? Also get it to 18, also get it to 19. And maybe as well the kind of treasure rings, because you said you had some backups there, right?
Yeah.
So you could include basically the pieces where you have enough backups, and it feels weird to say like a piece that you have 5 backups is on the same level as a piece where you have like 100 backups, like CRA. But you're looking at the average booms, right? So if the average booms is like 3, then whether you have 5 backups or 100 backups is like the same level of risk basically, because it's both like quite a bit more. It's like one is 50% more, the other is like 300% more or 1,000% more, but they're both like decently above the rate of how many booms you're probably going to get. So
another thing I was thinking about too, like I've heard people like saying that Meister Ring is not as viable anymore. Like people using other rings on like in its place.
It depends. Yeah, if people have a slime ring and a reinforced ring and a superior ring and a kind of treasure ring, they use those. I think there's still room for all the rings. It just depends on which ones you end up getting.
Oh, okay. But then again, I would just like replace the Meister Ring if I get something crazy like Slime Ring.
Yeah. So therefore, if you're like unsure if a piece can be replaced in that way, then you just don't push too hard on the potential or on the Star Force. If it's 17 or 18 and it stays 21 star, it's 21 potential, then that's always something that if you do end up replacing that, that's not the end of the world. It was still good transitionary gear and it got you to where you wanted to be. As long as you don't go for like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to get replaced soon because I'm actively going for the ring, but I'm still going to get a Meister to 22 and go for 30%. That would be a weird upgrade to make, right? Then you're just throwing your money away if you know that you're going to be replacing it soon.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go over to my sister's. Well, I have to be there in like 10 minutes, and it's like a 15-minute ride. So, you know what to do for the DMT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing for DMT? Tell me.
I'm investing on the reinforced ring, and if I get it on time, the weapon too.
Yeah. What else?
Maybe try to get the unique pieces that I have of Abso to legendary to try to get like a 21% on those.
I would do like the second secondary on the side.
Yeah, the second secondary too.
And the Abso hat.
Yeah.
Those pieces, so that you have like the pieces of the puzzle ready, so that you can switch into Arcane weapon, 5-set Abso around it. That means the hat, the CRA hat, takes a little bit of a backseat when it comes to 5, 10, 15. And during the 5, 10, 15, you focus on which pieces?
The hat, the reinforced ring, and
which hat?
The Abso hat.
Yes, Abso hat. Yeah, just checking.
And the Arcane weapon.
Yeah.
And maybe if I still have money on the Abso pieces, the unique ones.
Well, I would focus like getting the reinforced ring, right, that you're working on, and getting the Sweetwater tattoo to 17, and then between your Black Bean mark, kind of treasuring, but specifically your CRA top and bottom, those as priorities to try to get those to 19, just 1 star at a time, rouletting them up until. If you feel like the amount of money you're getting to is like dangerously close, right? If you most of your stuff gets to 19, or you have like 19, 19, 18, 17, and you only have like 1 bill left, you could also say like, okay, I'm gonna pause here. You know, going down to all the way 0 money is usually very risky.
Yeah,
so, you know, stopping a little bit early to be like, okay, now there's a very decent chance that I end up with worse than what I have now, and then you can just call it quits. Because there is also a 30% off event like 3 or 4 weeks after that, and if you do keep playing and, you know, actively still making money, you can use that event if you want to get some stuff to 15. Like, for example, if you have reinforced earrings from Gollux, if you get those, try to keep those, right?
Yes.
Or maybe like ping bean belts, so that in the 5, 10, 15 after that, when you have a lot of money and you have more backups of those pieces, maybe you can get like YOLO those up to 21. If that works, then you can transfer them into the superiors and get 20 or 21 superiors, and maybe you'll have more Gollux coins backup then, so you can try 20 to 21. Or if you don't have enough backups, that's fine too. You can go back to CRA and try to get the CRA up to 21. It all depends on where you have enough, where you have a lot of backups then. Maybe you can make more Meister rings. Maybe you have more kind of treasure rings, you know? As long as you keep playing.
For now, definitely, it would be easier for me to get a 21-star belt, because I have a shit ton of pink beam belts and reinforced belts.
Yeah, but just because you have a lot of belts doesn't mean it's easy to get, because that's getting to 21 is more a money thing. Because the belts is easy to get, that's true. But then it's more a money thing and just like doing it at the right time and just getting lucky during the event. If you have a shit ton of belts, I would probably just get rid of some, because you don't need like 30 belts, right? If you have like 8 belts or something, that's more than enough, because you would have to get ridiculously unlucky to blow up that many.
I have way more than 8
Yeah, you can keep like 8 and just get rid of the rest. And then if the date comes closer, you can hoard a little bit more belts before then, right? So that you have definitely enough. You have like 12 or 14 for the event, and then if you go hard during the event and you end up, you know, not blowing up that many, you can get rid of them again afterwards, and then you can build them up later. Those are easier because you want to keep room for the Dominators, Kana treasures. If you make extra Meisters, reinforced earrings, those you want to have room for in your inventory without clogging the whole thing up, right?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Exactly.
Like my inventory right now is not that clogged, but
but it will eventually if you keep it up like that, and you don't get like a little bit more strict now. It'll be like, you know, you're training, and after like 3 minutes you can already not drop the loot the reinforced things anymore. Merry Christmas, thank you, Galilo, appreciate you, dude. Scardor kisses in the chat.
Even for earrings, I have a couple spares. Like I have 1 or 2. I have like 1 or 2 reinforced, and I have a superior earring too.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That means that you can go from like the 20 to 21 jump more easily. All right, I think my Sister has already tried to call me. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to head over there.
Okay.
I'll upload it. I know it was kind of short, and I kind of feel bad, but I still wanted to
Don't
help
worry.
you with it before Christmas and everything. So if you still have backup questions, or like on the day itself, you know, I'm streaming, you can always ask in the chat or shoot me a message in Discord if you're still feeling maybe that other options opened up, or you're still a little bit unsure about what to do exactly. Just let me know, okay? Because you know I'm here to
Okay.
help you out, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much, Daddy-o.
Yes, no problem. Best of luck, and
Thank you very much.
I'll see you. I'll see you around. All right. Good luck
I see you.
on the seas.
Thank you very much. I'll need it.
All right. Bye bye.
Adios. Adios.
Adios. All right. A little bit of faster session, but I had to squeeze in Jesus before Christmas and everything. Yes, I know, Mom. I know. I already had to leave, but I had to help Jesus as well because he's like years and years subscriber and everything. I know. I have it in the planning. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Can't you see? I'm cycling right now. I'm going right now. Thank you for all the subs, guys. Thank you. Yeah. So this is like a short part of the stream where I help Jesus with the progression, and then I'm gonna go help my sister, and I'll be back later, and then we'll do all the KMS stuff. Okay. But thank you for the bits. Oh, you started a hype train too. Good job, everyone. Yes. So hopefully this made a little bit of sense to you. We went through things quite fast, but yeah, I'll try my best to help him out with parties and stuff. If you're looking for boss parties, make sure you join my Discord and give yourself the boss role in the Discord, where you can just spam to your heart's content, pretty much, you know, within reason, to find parties and to find other people who are in the same stage of the game, looking for the same types of bosses, whether it be normal Lucid, being hard Lucid, being Helix party runs, you know, whatever stage of the game you're in, there's going to be a room and a role that you can assign to where other people are only in there who've also assigned themselves the same role. So, you know, if they don't like the amount of pings and the amount of messages in there, they can just leave that role, right? It's very simple. So yeah, hopefully this shed a little bit more light on like the priority of upgrading and where you want to spend your money and how you want to look at what is a priority to work on at the moment and what can become a priority later. So I just want to lay the groundwork, you know, like level up the boat and just focus more on these pieces. When the pieces are upgraded, then the boat will start bringing back a lot of dineros, and then boom, those dineros will help you out, right? So yeah, short and sweet. I gotta help my sister because she's probably gonna be mad that I'm late. And thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a comment if you want to win a session, because I draw 2 winners before the end of the year. You know the regular. You guys know, but you guys know at this time. Catch me live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Scardor. Use my resources so you can prevent preventable mistakes, and have a good Christmas and all that stuff. And hopefully, it was a good session for you. Hopefully, you picked something up. All right. Thanks for watching.